All right, so I'm back working on my 96 Powerstroke, and I have had the truck fired up the past couple minutes, and I'm running my Autel trying to scan for data, but with this old school, like first gen OBD2, I think it's almost considered an OBD1 because this is a manufactured 1195, but it's a model year 96. So it doesn't have, there's not a lot of information. Like I can read the diagnostic trouble codes. I don't have the key in it, probably won't do it, but whatever. It said, yeah, it won't do it because the truck's not on, but whatever. So I've been running it the past couple minutes and it started fine, but it's a long start. So I've watched a bunch of videos and read forums from the past 25 years. And a lot of people are saying the ICP, which I figured it was because I believe it's original. So I got to change that out. And our injector control pressure sensor. Oh, and we're losing transmission fluid. So there's a possibility it could be that. But, so we still have fuel pressure. The alternator is crazy hot, which actually it shouldn't be that warm for just running for a minute. So that's actually I'm kind of concerned about that now that I did that. Yeah, there's that line down there just leaking. But anyway, so our injection control pressure sensor is right here. And this is the original one. And I'm fairly certain, hopefully I don't hurt my finger because those are notorious. So it looks like there's, because I've checked this before. Oh, hold on. I just saw the glint. Oh, there might be oil in it. Okay, so pretty much that's confirmed, like right there that, let me see if I can stick my finger in there. Yeah, there's oil in there. So these sensor, yeah, you can see it's just completely worn out. You can see the oil in there. I can't really get my finger in there, but so this has been here a very long time, and this is going to be a pain to get out. I believe it's a 5/8 inch, but it's on the underside down here. So we got to do a crow's foot under this new wire harness that I have, because I've read and people were like, oh, check this, check that for regarding your ICP, check the wiring. So this is a brand new engine harness that I've only had on for a few months, and obviously only been running, so I won't fault it. It is 100% my fault. I did not check the ICP before I installed the harness, and I bet if I did, I wouldn't have plugged it in because I would have seen that there was oil in this sensor, and that's a bad sensor. So I just noticed it for sure because the truck was idling after being on for maybe a minute, and we're still holding fuel pressure, so that's good. But anyway, the truck was running and then it shut off like I pulled the key out, and that is very indicative that the ICP or the CPS is going bad. Now I don't believe it's the CPS because those are usually just wiring problems, not the CPS themselves, which is the crank position sensor down here underneath the water pump on the side of the block, which I can get to. But like I said, it's a whole new brand new harness that I have here from Riffraff. I ordered it months and months and months ago. Wow, that is really warm. But the downside to that, where was I? Sorry, losing track here. Anyway, ICP, I don't believe it's the CPS for right now because they're not great, but usually the 99% problem with them is that you're gonna have a wiring issue just because it's an over 25-year-old truck, so it's gonna have some issues. So with that, it's a very humid day today, but it's kind of chilly, so that's why everything's all condensating. So yeah, that's all just water. And the truck does kind of have a rough idle when it's cold, and it had a real rough idle when it was a while back when I had it running before I did a bunch of work on it up here. It would have some weird, not sputtering, but it would have weird rough idle, like it would go up and then reel down low and almost stall out. But right now it's just straight up stalling. So I'm gonna get to doing this sensor. I have a new one, and just in case, I ordered with it a new pigtail just in case I did break this sensor, but I also have electrical cleaner in the garage, so I'll clean it out first and then plug it in. If I still have issues after the sensor, then I maybe check continuity and make sure, you know, maybe the connector's bad now. And if nothing else, we'll go from there. I do have a harness for the old fuel bowl as well. As you can see, I had to plug in for the fuel pump system, but I do have a new one that I can plug in because this is all old, and I don't know yet. We'll start with the ICP, trying to get in there, and we'll go from there, because it is going to be hard, because as you can see, I got the hoses. Fuel line is not a problem, we can figure that out, but our real problem is going to be the harness and this bracket to pull out the motor. So I almost might just take that out. Don't necessarily want to, but I don't really feel like I'm going to be pulling the engine anytime soon. I don't even know if I can get to it, honestly. We'll start with that and we'll move from there. Want to see something cool? So I saw this on one of those Dave's Auto videos, this flashlight. It's got the UV light on it. I know this is not new to mechanics, but this is new to me because I knew you could get UV lights, black lights, you know, when you're a teenager. Cool stuff back in the early 2000s. But you want to check for a fuel leak, and I know there are other videos and tons of mechanics out there will tell you, oh, you didn't know that? I know, whatever. But anyway, we can check for leaks. So all that diesel fuel, bit of load, there we go. Look at all that diesel fuel down there that we're still leaking. So I bet if I fire up even the fuel pump, I think we'll be able to see where it's coming from, because I know it's leaking somewhere up here. Just don't really know quite where. No oil coming out of the IPR, so that's good. No other leaks to speak of around here. So pretty nifty. Plus I think that sensor is also bad too, but anyway. So we have the fuel pump running. Let's see if we can see where this girl's leaking from. So it's leaking from somewhere. But where are you leaking from? So we're not leaking from any of these fittings, which is real good. That's what we want. Oh, there's diesel down there, but is it coming from up under here? Yeah, but pretty nifty. We can see if it was flowing. Oh, that was the, whoops, that was a glow plug. All right. So we have here, I know it's a Zibix, but there's the part number, ZBX3512 ICP sensor. For the 7.3s, I do believe from 94.5 to 2003, they are all the same. As well, I have a pigtail here, but this pigtail will also work for your exhaust back pressure sensor right here. But this is the new one. You can see how you can actually tighten it down from the outside, whereas the OE, you have to get under it. I'm pretty sure it's a 5/8, maybe 3/4, but we'll swap that out, lose a bunch of oil pressure. But however, I'm certain once we fix this, we'll just run through our issues and she'll idle perfectly. Because before I can put any kind of high idle through the before I can run anything through the PHP Hydra as like a high idle and like what are those economy tunes, I got to make sure that we have all the correct, everything's running good in the motor. I'm not just going to throw a bunch of power at it because I don't want to, because that'll just break things and ruin it more. I want to drive the dang thing. So I knew I had it somewhere. I had to go look for it, but we have it here. Okay, so I took out the 4 10mm bolts that hold in the AC compressor. Just moved it out of the way. Nudged the wire harness up here. just out of its loom holder, and I was able to snake in a 5/8 wrench down in there, crack it loose. So now I just gotta go ahead and get it out, but it fits in there. Just gotta fight with it. But I think I might take that bracket out. You can see I ran the fuel return line through it, so I'd have to adjust that, but I'm pretty certain now I can probably, not quite, I could probably get it with a set of pliers. Probably try that, but I'll start with the wrench for now and continue because there is oil pressure on it. Okay, so I got it out, and I don't know if you can see it, but these plier marks on here, I've never used pliers on this to try and get it out. You can see it's pretty dirty. There is some oil in there. I have wiped the tip off. It was just black with a little bit of carbon, but that's not from the oil system being pressurized. It's just from dirty dirty oil. But otherwise, I don't really see anything wrong with it. O-ring looks okay. Oh no, it's kind of wonky. But we'll put the new one in, get it tight, and then we'll clean up around it so that way we don't get any any contamination into the oil. Okay, got the new one in there. So it's not tightened all the way down, but I'm realizing we might have a tighten down problem because, let's see, can the camera see it? So right there, no, I can see it from the other side. You can't really see it, but it looks like there's just enough clearance, and if not, I should be able to get it from this side just to tighten it down from over here. Let me zoom. But there's the new one. We'll clean the connector, we'll get everything hooked back up, and then we'll try it again, see how it idles, and clean up in here, and then we'll move on to the next part of the project. Okay, so sensor is in, and I'm trying to get, these are just, I don't even know what those are called right this second. My brain is fried. I'm irritated because I broke my T50 trying to get the tensioner out. The idlers, there they go. Idler pulleys. They're shot, so it's a good thing I pulled them out. But I'm trying to get this off of here. And now I really need to work for it. So I gotta get to that 1/2 inch right there. And I gotta get to one down there. There it is. So, yay, more fun. Ay. Okay, we got the bracket out. You can see here the international water pump has a built-in filter on it. So, that right there is our coolant temperature sensor, exhaust back pressure. And that one right there, I believe, is either our oil temperature or our oil pressure. I know that's also an oil pressure gauge right there, but that's for the high pressure oil system. And then the CPS is way down there, the crank position sensor. So in order to get that broken bolt out that we snapped off of this T50, let's run over to the welder. Lawnmower. And that thing's still hot. It was a 5/8 head bolt, or nut, sorry, and I just welded it on there and got the old one out. Now there's a TSB out on this from I think like 2000. So instead of having this type of tensioner on there, we need one of, where'd it go? This one right here. So this is off a later model Super Duty 7.3, not the 6 liter, because the 6 liter has a reverse pulley on there. So per the TSB, this goes here in the center now, and we have to remove this stud for the ribbed pulley, or idler. And so then we gotta cut this one down, and then we have to notch it down over here. And then this slides in because it has the two tabs right there, go in there. And what we can do for this one is I'm gonna go ahead and cut this down, make sure it fits, clean it up some, and then we'll go put it back on, get all the bolts nice and tight this time because a couple of them were loose on when I was pulling it off. We'll get it nice and tight, like I said, and then we'll go ahead and put this tensioner on. And I have this right here, this tab. So this is called like the TB50 model of belt tensioner, or sorry, BT50, belt tensioner 50. Because there's like a belt tensioner 57, which is a 6 liter, and like I said, this is reversed on the inside, and it's got a little O-ring right there to catch it. So we'll go ahead and get all this done, cut that down, grind it, but I'm running out of daytime over here, so got family matters to attend to instead. But we'll see what we can get done in the next 30 minutes, and then we're done for the day. So no turning back now. You can see right here where it hits. We got about a 1/4 inch that we need to shim down, or cut down. Not shim down, but cut. So right in there. And I'll grind it down smooth. Yeah, this is all cast aluminum. I was wondering why it was never rusting, but it makes total sense. Cast aluminum. So here to that corner, but we'll probably nip the whole thing down just to be safe, but that's where we're at so far. Well, just cut them down with the grinder to where it needed to go, and then snapped it off with a set of rib joint pliers. So clean it up a little bit, throw it back in the truck. Yeah, and we'll go from there. Okay, new ICP. Wait to start. We'll just make sure everything's not leaking. That's the main thing. Yet again, I do something that I don't even pay attention to. I am running that double, oh, I just heard that. Something's leaking in there, sucking in air. But that dual lift pump back there is drawing the amps off of a battery that is just a battery. It's not a dual battery, and this truck is being fired up with one battery. Oh, Jesus, man. Okay, well, I think this is 11/16 or something. We'll get that in, fire it back up, see how much easier it starts, I bet. I have a suspecting feeling that, oh yeah, way faster. See how much fuel pressure we have now. still having a rough ride, rough idle. Well, it has flow by, but not excessive. But it does have a rough idle still, so everything's tight now. We are charging, but I think that injection pressure regulator, I think that's bad. I do have one of those, but I don't have time today to swap that out, so we'll just keep going down these sensors until they're all done and pretty much swapped out. Yeah, I got the new harness right here. That's what I needed. And then, yeah, see there. It's just barely doing it by like 25 to 30 RPM. And then it'll stop. So I think that IPR is bad.